Hello and welcome to Biology Unit 1, the nervous system. In this video, you're going to be learning all about how your brain is the central headquarters for your entire body, and your spinal cord is the telephone system that allows it to send the messages to control your entire body. So let's get started.
Let's do this right now.
The nervous system is your body's telecommunication system. It is how all the organs and organ systems and cells and all the bits and pieces of your entire body all communicate with each other to make sure that they maintain homeostasis and perform pretty much any other function that needs to happen in partnership with anything else in your body, or just knowing what to do and when to do it. Your brain is the leader, but being a part of the nervous system is how it communicates orders to all of its soldiers, which is pretty much everything else in your body. So the nervous system can be broken up into two major areas. The first is the central nervous system, or the CNS. The central nervous system is named because it combines information that it receives from and coordinates and influences the activity of all parts of the body. So what am I talking about? Well, your body has messages going from one organ system to the other, trying to communicate, trying to maintain homeostasis. And it needs a leader to be able to take that information, understand what the heck all these systems are talking about, and then making sure the message gets to the right place at the right time. And that's what the central nervous system does. And it's made of the brain and the spinal cord. So the brain is the major processing unit of the nervous system. It receives, processes, and sends out messages to and from other organ systems. So when other organ systems need to communicate with another one to maintain homeostasis or accomplish some other task, it sends a message to the brain so that the brain can make sure it gets to the right place at the right time and that the message is as clear as possible. So imagine when you're trying to communicate over the internet, your message or your request or your upload or your download, it has to go through some kind of headquarters location. Like Verizon has them, AT&T, all the Charter, all the different internet service providers, they have their local hubs or headquarters that all your information goes to and then is processed and then sent out to the right place, and then the vice versa. That's how information gets to you in addition to you sending it out. So that main headquarters, that's the brain. And your brain is the main headquarters of all the information that's constantly circulating through your body. Now, the spinal cord, the other important part of the central nervous system, the CNS, is the organ that messages going to your brain and from your brain are sent. Think of those as cable lines or telephone lines. It is along these lines that messages get sent. If these lines get cut, messages stop getting sent. Your internet goes out. You can't make phone calls. Same thing in your body. If your spinal cord were to get cut, your body would stop functioning because your brain could no longer receive or send messages to anywhere else in the body. It is possible you can survive a spinal cord injury or having your spinal cord cut, but it would be very difficult to without a lot of medical help because your body will not be able to keep going without any messages coming from the brain, which just lost its means of sending those messages through the spinal cord. Now, the other important part of the nervous system is the peripheral nervous system, or the PNS. And the PNS connects all of the body's organ systems to the central nervous system that I just got done talking about through the use of nerves. So what are nerves? Nerves are enclosed cable-like bundles of fibers, also known as axons, in the PNS. So think of nerves as the box, as the connection where those telephone lines, those cable lines actually connect to your home. That box on the side of your home is how you connect with the telephone lines. And just like in your body, if that box were to be destroyed, well, the telephone lines are going to be just fine. Messages will still be moving around. People will still be able to communicate. No one's really going to be hurt except for your home. Just your home is going to be cut off from the telecommunication system, from headquarters. Your body's the same way. If any nerves get damaged, that one part of your body will no longer be able to communicate with the brain and will most likely stop functioning. Now, depending on what organ it is or what part of your body, you might be just fine, you might just be inconvenienced, you might have a disability, or if it's critical enough, it could be a huge major problem, just as if the nervous system were to go down. For example, if the telephone lines are going just fine, but all of the internet goes down at the Pentagon where our military decisions are centralized, well, that could be a huge problem if we need to engage in a war, defend ourselves. So nerves connect all the different parts of our body to that central nervous system. Now, those nerves are attached to something called a neuron, which is a nerve cell, where cells can have specialized functions, whose cell body has fibers, also known as nerves, that project outside the spinal cord to directly or indirectly control the organs. And there are three major categories of nerves. First, there are motor neurons. Motor neurons send information away from the central nervous system and to various muscles and glands. The other kind of neuron is the sensory neuron, which sends information away from sensory receptors, such as your skin, eyes, nose, your five senses, to the central nervous system, telling the brain, hey, stimuli is happening, something is happening, do something about it. And finally, there are interneurons. Interneurons send information between sensory neurons and motor neurons because sometimes your brain is too slow to react. So you have these kind of reflexive things, and your sensory neuron has information that can't wait to go to the brain and needs to go right to the motor neuron so you can react and pull your hand out of the fire right now. Well, it can do that using interneurons. Now, the PNS has two major divisions, two different jobs, functions that it maintains. The first is the sympathetic division. This causes your body to wake up and be alert in response to dangerous stimuli. You may have heard of fight or flight. So when something happens that scares you or causes you to react, or you watch one of those videos on YouTube where someone's trying to scare some kid on Halloween and his dad ends up punching him and he didn't really mean to, he just reacted that way, that's because of the sympathetic division at work. The other job of the peripheral nervous system is the parasympathetic division. The parasympathetic division regulates unconscious actions that you don't control but need to happen in order for you to survive, such as digestion, urination. And you can control urination a little bit, but would you really have to go? You really have to go. And you can only hold on for so long before your body's just going to say, sorry, time to go. Crying, tears, these are all things controlled by the parasympathetic division, but these are things that can be affected by the sympathetic division. Like, for example, if you get scared and surprised all at the same time fast enough, you might start crying. Some people do that. So that's an example of the parasympathetic division being affected by the sympathetic division. All right, so that's all there is to your introduction to the nervous system. If you have any questions, please ask me in class, and good luck.
Make you lose with the unthinkable. Don't stop till you come first. Life too unpredictable. Take control of